Hello everyone on the internet and thanks for tuning in. I am RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku.
And welcome to another episode of Toku Bros. I'm your co-host, Dragon Zeron of the Tokusatsu Media Center, and this is Ultra Talk.
Ultraman Z, Delta Stormclaw!
Wow.
So we are talking about episodes 15, 14...
No, 14 to 16.
I know, I did 14 after, so 14, 15, 16. That is what
Don't worry about it.
about today. So we don't get Ultra News like we do for Toei's Tokusatsu.
Except
Have
the
you heard
English
anything?
cast did get revealed for the newest special that they're doing.
English
for Ultra
cast?
Galaxy Fight. Huh?
English cast?
Yep, they're doing an English dubbed.
Oh, serious?
Yeah.
I learned stuff on this show. Okay, so
Because they're one of the few people who actually do dubbing instead of subbing.
who's dubbing Ultraman?
I think it's a Winkler production, but do not hold me up on that.
Right.
That was it a few years ago when they did Ultraman Victory thing.
And you're saying they're doing Ultra Galaxy Fight?
Or not, it's the new special that they've been teasing about. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like a little miniature special or some shit. I don't know for sure.
So they're not even dubbing a series, they're dubbing a special.
Yes.
Sounds a bit strange. Okay, I mean...
But dubbing a series is a bit
No, but at least,
expensive.
I'd have at least thought dub a movie. Because, yeah, like, to be fair, Ultraman...
Oh, yeah, they do have a dub of the movie Ultraman X does.
Okay. But,
Yeah.
So you've got no idea of when they're releasing this dub?
In December.
Fair enough. Okay, so Ultra News right there. But let's get on to talking about... I can't remember.
Episode 14.
Ultraman Z, that's what we're talking about. So, let's talk about episode 14. Episode 14, there was quite a mix of good and bad in this episode. The monster of the week being like this heart-like blob called Voltron, which may or not be part of Ultraman lore.
I've never seen it before.
Well, this is it. Like, this is where I start describing the episode like you normally do. So, like, it creates this kind of time warp that's like a typical cliche from tokusatsu.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in this, in this particular episode, they call it the fourth dimensional axis, which is kind of this really bizarre sci-fi way of making that sound cool. But I'm not kind of buying it. It's like, no, you're just doing a time episode. It's done many times before. I mean, the comedy was bizarre.
Well,
This episode, as is pretty, like I'm getting used to this bizarre comedy from Ultraman Z by now. But at least
yeah.
some
Ultraman is known for its bizarre comedy.
I mean, I'll say, like, bearing in mind I've only seen a couple of series and a few movies, I can't say I've seen too much humour. And then
Watch Ultraman Orb and you'll get it.
well, this is it. Like because even in Rube there wasn't that much humour, but yeah, like there's a little bit, but still. I'll say that there was this massive continuity plot in episode 14 though, where like, they had like several conversations, but then every time Haruki jumped back to eating tuna, it was just like they just wiped out all these conversations and just went straight to like the emergency alert. Anyway,
I got a lot of Groundhog Day vibes from it.
but that's it. But yeah, but all these time warp episodes are pretty much Groundhog Day. I think people do call them the Groundhog Day episodes, but still, but I did like I did actually like the way that they resolved it, a little bit differently to the usual. Like, it's all about willpower. But I did, with this plot twist, I did like the scene between Haruki and his father. And, it brought about, for me, it kind of was a bit bizarre, but it becomes like, something that I reckon that they could revert back to in the future. And then, all this stuff, like, surrounding Haruki's father, it'll be quite interesting to see if they develop that any further. The fight.
Well, the thing is, they kind of did already in the I think the 7th or 8th episode where he first appeared. It like him disappearing for a bit was him actually talking to his son, and
Well,
that's
that's
why it
it
took
though,
them so
because
long.
I'm pretty sure at the beginning of Ultraman Z, they actually show him being killed, like doing a rescue mission or something.
Yeah,
Just trying to
but
wonder whether he did disappear or if he was killed off. So even my memory, even though this is only 14 episodes in at this point, what is actually going on? But then, like, so to move on a little bit, like the fight scenes were a bit bizarre, but the CGI and the superimposed city did look kind of cool. I mean,
hmm
I am in two minds about this new end credit song though.
yeah, the opening theme goes hard as fuck. I'll tell you that for certain. Like the full version is great, and the new ending theme that they have also sounds really cool. It actually sounds better than the first ending theme, which I did not really like at all. I did not care for it. Just
See,
bland.
this is a thing. So, like, moving on to episode 15, they do use the old end credit music in one of the final fight scenes for episode 15. Now,
Yeah, I enjoyed
15,
that though.
now, like, episode 15, the CGI in this episode was actually quite superb, and that's not a word I
Oh,
use often.
dude, like the building smashing and stuff,
Well, this
bro.
is it. I
Like,
mean, even though I'm still not sure about the bizarre script and plot in this particular episode, I mean, I do like that they brought back Jeed, but again, though, it's like,
didn't really make any sense per se, you know.
well, this is it. I mean, like when it comes to the episode not making sense, I mean, Haruki and leader guy storming Celebros' hideout just left so many
Mhm.
questions to me personally. I'm like, well, what's going on here? The way they got the Belial medal is actually pretty cool, and like again, even though for me, it just kind of felt like they shoehorned this in, and then they stormed this hideout, which brings about so many questions because it's like, oh, Haruki's totally cool with this, but then he's like, who are you? And then we get to see him learn about Celebros, which I'm
Mhm.
sure they hadn't really mentioned the name until like maybe episode 14. But still, it's just so many questions. But the coolest thing this
Cerebro, I don't
episode,
know who he is though. That's the thing. They still
we
have
don't know.
many
It's
questions.
still supposed to be a mystery, and then it's like the fact that they even revealed his name, the fact that our sort of in between leader of storage guy, he's like, oh,
Juggler.
yeah, juggler. At least he's like kind of, oh, I'm helping everybody, but what is his real intention? I don't know, because I believe he was someone from Zero, right?
No, Ultraman Orb.
Right, well, this is it. So then there's that, and then you've got the fact that Jeter's Belial's son. So like, there's a lot of stuff that people who are new to the franchise will have to connect because even I'm barely getting it. Even though I am familiar a little bit with Orb and not even Jeed, like Arbit, Rube and stuff. I'll say,
I never saw Rube, so I
but the
have
thing is,
no.
I will say straight up because like when I saw in episode 14 that he mishmashed these two blue and red. Actually, no, it was episode 15. He had like this blue and red ball. And he threw it. I thought there was going to be something to do with Rube, but it wasn't. But still, the coolest thing about this episode is the fact that they did introduce and debut Delta Storm Claw, which does look cool. But then it's all about that talking sword Beliarok.
I like that a lot. I got a lot of Saba vibes. Or
I
what's
I also got a lot of Saba vibes from this as well. So like, I love how it's like a talking sword. It's great. I mean, they should do that more often in Toku, really.
Yeah, like I would like to see like a weapon or somebody like that communicates with the people. You don't see that often. Like we had it in Drive, and I think we had it somewhat in Go Ager and stuff. But I'd like to see more of that. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, this is it. So we got that, but like the fight scenes in episode 15 are also really cool as well.
hmm Yeah, like I enjoyed the like that monster looked a lot like Zeton. I don't know if you know of Zeton. Basically, it's like Ultraman's number one foe, or no, it's one of the
Well,
two
this is it
Ultra
because
like.
the monster of the week in this episode was an evolution of the one in the previous episode. So it was all about time warps and Jeed
hmm
sacrificed himself, and then this sword is supposed to be the needle that sews the hole or something. I mean, I'm not quite too sure where they were getting off on this sort of analogy kind of thing, because I think it's almost like they were trying to take it literally, but then they didn't, because obviously you're not
But let's not
so
forget the
needle, it's a
writer did
sword.
die halfway through the show.
No, he didn't die. He was taken to a random dimension, and then
No, the writer of the show.
Stormclaw.
That's why it's getting a little
Oh,
bit
the writer you
convoluted.
keep saying, right? Yeah, you said about the writer before, but I think no, I don't think it's getting included at all. I think it's doing all right because at least they're not doing another clip show again
Mm-hmm.
that way. But moving on to episode 16, though, I mean, this is kind of like one episode that's like in on its own. It's very contained, and it's all centered around Yuka, which I thought was very bizarre because I find her a bizarre character anyway, which is deliberate to be fair. I mean, so like going into Yuka's backstory, it was a good, decent backstory with some comical setup. I mean, it felt very disconnected in that it was like a random style monster of the week compared to the previous, only for Cerebro to just go even more psycho than he previously did, wanting to get his Belial medal back.
Mm-hmm.
Also seems weird that that Yuka was talking about this stuff and ancient law that was only 333 years old. So like,
That's like the Edo period.
whatever period it was, it just seems like because she was talking like it was so long ago that no one remembers anything. But 333 years ago, I mean that's only like maybe 6 to 9 generations, and that sort of information on how to quell the monster should have been able to be passed down through 300 years somewhat easily. And yet, I'll say, the resolution as well was quite random for both, and the fight scenes did take a backseat to Yuka. Like, you just see her like trying to work it out while they're fighting in the background. Which,
Mm-hmm.
on one
And
hand,
I
is
got
a
a lot of
comical
Ultraman
fashion,
Max
where
vibes.
it's kind of like it's a comical fashion, but I'm just kind of like, but that's not what Ultraman's supposed to be about.
Mm-hmm. But I got a lot of Ultraman Max vibes because there's an episode in Ultraman Max where there's this golden monster who basically becomes extremely, extremely violent. And each time they throw something, he gets stronger and stronger. And it's only until they sing him a song or something where he actually calms down and goes back into space. And I got a lot of vibes of that in this episode.
Well, you might as well, if you're going to talk about that kind of thing, you might as well talk about Jigglypuff.
Oh yeah, Jigglypuff?
Yeah, never mind.
Who's that?
Never mind. Anyway, alright, so have you got anything to add about these 3 episodes that we have watched?
I do wish they would bring back the old man commander, not the mustache.
Yeah, they did.
one,
They
but
did. At the beginning of episode 14, you see him coming back with a sling round his arm.
Yeah, but you
He was the
don't
one
see
with the
him
tuna.
other
He
than
was the one with
that.
the tuna. But this is it. Like, I guess.
Oh no! I didn't mean like the glasses guy. I meant like the one from Wizard.
Wizards.
Remember the old man,
You
the
mean,
shop owner?
are you talking? We're talking about Ultraman, right?
Yeah, like one of the actors is from Kamen Rider Wizard. He's the old
Oh,
shopkeeper.
him. Yeah, I know who you're talking.
I want to see him more, but
No, they
I
made
feel like
references to him. They made references to him, but then I don't know.
I think COVID may have stopped him from actually being around, because
Possibly.
they're all younger, and he's older and
All right. Well, I'm
yeah.
right. So thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope to see you all next time. You can catch us all on the social medias, like starting with my boy Dragon Zeron. You can find him at his own YouTube channel as well as Instagram and Patreon. You can find us, Toku Bros, at this YouTube channel as well as on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Toku Bros 71. And finally, myself, RyuKiva of RyuKiva Toku, where I am on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. I do have my Patreon and my site, ryukivatoku.wordpress.com. I'm not too sure when I'm going to be resuming Toku unboxing, but do check out my Toku chart rundown if you get the moment. So I hope to see you all soon, and fish through the cam. See you next time.